Hi, it's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead, and I'm glad you're back with me. Tonight I decided I'm going to make some beef barley soup. And so the first thing I did was, of course, run all my jars through the quart jars, wide mouth, through the dishwasher. They were put away clean, but re-washed so they're nice and sanitized. I also have a bowl of hot water soaking my lids. I know they say you don't need to do that anymore. I've been counting a long time. I'm just much more comfortable if those lids are nice and soft. I want to show you something that I just got. So I saw this little thing. My sprayer, once it turns on, it will not turn off. It's just awful. I guess it looks like well, it's still a tiny drip. So somebody used it about a month and a half ago. It was just like, ah. But anyhow, I found this little thing at Walmart. And so I can spray, I'll show you. I can spray the whole area of my sink. And I'm really pleased with that. Another thing I want you to notice, I have a single large sink. This is perfect if you like to can or process food. Even if I didn't, I would never go back to a double one again. This is just so handy. I can get big pots in here, and then hopefully I can get them lifted up again. So another thing I do when I'm cutting my vegetables, I keep the compost thing right in the sink, and then I'm just able to knock things over. So let's just finish the last little bits that I need to cut for my soup. So I have some nice carrots that I'm going to add to my carrot thing. I've already done all the onions, as you can tell, and most of the celery, but we'll just cut up this last little bit of celery. So I'm going to try to do this assembly line, and I'll show you more of the ingredients in just a moment. Now it's pretty messy looking, but this is my bread box that my son Jason made for me years ago when he was in high school, maybe even junior high. And I've always enjoyed that. So let's take a look at the ingredients. Okay. I've got ground beef that I've cooked up. And of course I have barley. And just the main three ones that always go in soups: celery, onions, carrots. I have bay leaves. Actually, I don't need, well, black pepper. I use pink Himalayan salt. You might also want to use Redmond's or another good salt, but you want to use a good salt. I have garlic powder, Worcestershire. Now the recipe, I found this kind of interesting to me. They wanted a little bit of brown gravy mix in it, so I'm gonna put some in. And parsley and thyme. I have whole, a little bit left, and some powdered. Those are the ingredients. So I'm going to get the jars ready. And I forgot to tell you, I got a can of beef broth. Now I made my own really nice beef bone broth, but I found these cans for 98 cents. They're gigantic. I mean, as you can see, I took off my glasses, 48 ounces. And so I grabbed a few of those just to add, because it was cheap and that was cool. I've got this pan on, my canner, and let's get some water going in it. Okay, I'll add some more. Okay, let's begin this process. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 cup of hamburger to each jar. Continue. Next, I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of pearl barley. Okay, from there, I'm going to begin adding a 1/2 cup of celery. We'll continue. We're on to celery. Finishing up the last one on that. Just a 1/2 cup, I think it's going to be plenty. Made a little mess. It's part of cooking. We're going next to the 1/2 cup of carrots. Pretty easy so far. The last big ingredient will be onions. 1/2 cup. And I'm really busy. This will be nice just to have ready to go. Okay, those were all the big ingredients. Got a few stragglers. Let's get this stuff where you can see it. Okay, I'm going to put in a 1/2 teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt in each one. And I'm going to do about the same amount of black pepper. And I'm going to do about 1/4 of a teaspoon of garlic for each one, because it is dried, and so that's, I think that'll be plenty. I'll do. Okay. Now I don't know really how much of the gravy to add, so I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon is all. I think that will be plenty personally. I might round it up a little bit, but that's all. I got this from Costco. On to parsley. Again, about a half a teaspoon, a little less. And I have two types of thyme. So I have whole and I have some ground. And I'm gonna, this one's almost empty, so I'm gonna get rid of it first. And in this, I'm going to add really about 1/8 of a teaspoon. I just don't think we need very much of that. That one's empty. Good. So those are all the dry ingredients. Next, I'm going to add a couple splashes of Worcestershire sauce. It gives kind of a rich taste, and I think we'll like that. Last thing I'm going to do is fill these up to the bottom of this. That's about 1 inch down with the broth. A little bit more. I think you got the idea on that. I almost forgot to put in the tomato paste. The recipe that I found, because I've never made this type of soup before, called for a little bit of tomato. So I've just got an iced teaspoon. I'm just going to give them each a spoon. All right, so now I have all the ingredients in. The next step is to move this out of the way. Get my canner over here and begin wiping these off. Now, I am just amazed because I never run out of this. I don't have any white vinegar. So I've got to get some more. So I will wipe these a couple times and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm just adding the lids. Put it on the rings. Now they always say finger tight. I do it pretty firm because I'm not that strong. But here you can see the layers. The ground beef and the barley, celery, onions, carrots and onions. Everything's in there, so it should, I hope it's good. Okay, this is interesting. I found a jar that I had that It says that it is a mason jar, but it just won't go down and stay. Let me try one more time. It needs to tighten. Maybe I'll just try a different ring. Oh, that's all it needed. It was a bad ring. Well, that's cool. So, I'm just putting these in. At the top of this one, you can see there's a little layer of fat. I decided to use some of the broth and fat that was in the hamburger I cooked. I actually like to cook it on this one better, so that's what I'm going to do. Perfect. 7. A little bit more. There we go. Nice and tight. Okay. All right, I'm going to bring that up to temperature. And I've got the little valve open, P valve, so it will let off steam for 5 minutes or so. And then I will shut it down and process this 10 pounds pressure for 90 minutes. We'll have sometime this winter 7 quarts from this batch, but it looks like I'm going to do another 7 batches. All right, it's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. I want to pray blessings on you and yours, in your house and out of your house, in the day and the night. Whatever you do, keep dreaming.